The Experience Pros Radio Show, home of the original Fan Braggin' Fridays. Take just 20 seconds to become a business revolutionary by sharing a fan bragging story of great customer service by using the hashtag FanBrag or calling the Fan Braggin' hotline at 855-FAN-BRAG, FANBRAG. Now back to Angel and Eric, the Experience Pros.
Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Experience Pros Radio Show, home of positive business talk. Very happy to have you along for the ride. According to the Center for Disease Control, get this, more than 11% of children between the ages of 4 and 17 in the U.S. have been diagnosed with ADHD. That's Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. And that's an interesting concept to me, if you think about that for a minute. Many of those kids go through some type of treatment for the disorder, most of them being prescribed a preventative drug in order to try to control the problem. And our next guest, Dr. Ed Carlton, who suffered for many years with bipolar disorder, says that medication is merely a Band-Aid for these kids. I find myself in agreement with him. Dr. Ed Carlton, welcome to the Experience Pros Radio Show.
Thank you, Eric.
Super nice to have you along. ADHD didn't even exist as a term. At least I was blissfully unaware of it when I was a kid. We went out, we played outside, to get our stress out, or work out the willies or whatever. Where did we jump off the track and decide to diagnose something that is did we create ADHD in order to serve up pharmaceuticals?
That's a fair question. You're correct. If you go about 20 years ago, the diagnosis didn't exist at all.
Keep going, brother.
So your challenge here is, in modern society, in recent years anyway, more and more kids are not going outside. They're staying inside. They're on computers. The teachers are under much more pressure. They don't have as much leeway as they used to. So what we used to do, the old playgrounds, that kind of stuff is not as available, correct?
Right.
You could also there's a lot of stuff in foods that wasn't present years ago. You could also go into the fact that the children these days are exposed to a great deal more than they were when I was a child. I'm a 6-year-old guy, right? And the fact of the matter is, we used to go out and play kick the can.
Right.
So that's not available. So your challenge now is, how do you burn off the energy? If you don't have access to that type of tool, then you have to come up with other ideas. And unfortunately, the simplest or easiest approach for the people who are dealing with these kids, and that may be educators, again, who are overworked and understaffed, and they're trying to handle, now they've got class loads 30, 32, 34 students. Didn't used to be that big, right? So they've got to find some way to keep these kids in line, keep them under control. So very often, unfortunately, that means a child who is fidgety, or what we refer to now as hyperactive, is no longer as tolerated as they were when we were kids.
Okay,
so they have to find some way to make them quiet.
So a couple of questions, right? And right there, I find a case for offense. To make our kids quiet. I mean, part of being a kid is being loud and getting out that energy, having so much energy. Now we're also dealing with an upsurge, and I don't want to downplay the realities of our modern society. We see an upsurge in autism and other things like that. There's lots of, and I'm not going to derail this thing with a conversation of whether or not vaccines are positive or negative, but I do want to address the elephant in the room, and that is that we have this massive opioid overuse in America today. It is only getting worse. Ambien, Xanax, and all these other things going on out there where people are dying left and right, and our kids are doped up. What do we do about that?
Well, the reason I'm on this show, obviously, today, I wrote a book called The Answer.
Right.
This book details my experience with bipolar disorder. It also explains how I utilize the technology known as neurofeedback training in order to get off medications and eliminate my symptoms.
Okay, what are those words you just used? Neurofeedback training. What does that mean?
Technical term, basically, we can, in real life now, most people are familiar with what an electroencephalogram is. What that is you can actually measure in real time how their brain is working, brain waves, if you will. Okay.
All right.
And just like if you were to go on Google today and say, I want a map, I want to see where the traffic is busy and where it's not busy, you can pull up Google and no one will be surprised if you could tell you where the traffic is busy and where it's not, right? No one will be surprised with that. Well, the reality is we can now measure in the human brain basically the same thing. I can tell you which parts of the brain are going too fast, which parts are going too slow, where the communication is too much, traffic jam, where there's not enough, with what's called a quantity electroencephalogram.
All right. So now we know where the red lines are. What do we do with that? Do we zap them?
Nope. Neurofeedback training, the neat thing about it is it's all natural. It uses the brain's natural ability to learn in order to help it heal. It uses something called operant conditioning. Fancy term, easy way to look at it is if you've ever learned how to ride a bike, if you ever learned how to swim, easiest thing I like to use is ride a bike. If you're riding a bike and you lean too far right, what happens?
You fall over.
If I left, same thing. You learn pretty quickly to stay on the bike, right?
Right.
I mean, so that's operant conditioning in its most basic form. The brain learns from experience. If there's consequences, if you do something, you usually fairly quickly learn either to do it differently, do it better, or not do it. So it's like learning to balance. Well, the same thing is true with neurofeedback training. If someone comes to my office or anyone that does neurofeedback training and you get a map, you find out which parts of the brain aren't working properly, you can design, or I can design, because I'm certified in its use, I can design a protocol to help correct that. Now, the training itself is done very simply. In my office and in most offices, you would sit down in a relaxed area. You would watch a video, something more complex. That's why the kids like doing it. They can pick their own videos for the most part.
Okay.
So they sit back, relax, and watch a video for 30 minutes. While the video is playing, we attach sensors to the scalp. Now, understand, it's important to know we're not putting anything in. No electron, nothing's going in. We're simply measuring the brainwave output while they're watching a video.
All right, I'm tracking with you.
Okay, so the thing about it is when you're doing that, their brain's going to do the same thing it does when you're trying to get them to do their homework, right? Their brain's going to go off here and go off there.
Sure.
And the same thing happens if an adult's doing it, by the way. This works for adults as well as kids. So it's the same process. While they're watching the video, their brain's going too fast or too slow. Well, when that happens, because they're attached to sensors, my equipment can measure it. Well, when it goes outside the lines that I've set as my goals, training goals, the movie itself goes dim and the sound goes down. It's not a painful process, but it brings the brain back to focus.
Interesting. I love this. Okay, so, and folks, the book is called The Answer. And Dr. Carlton, where do you want people to go pick up a copy of this book? You
can order it at Amazon or Barnes & Noble. It's $7.95. I've also offered it on Kindle. It's $1.99. And for anyone who doesn't have the money, just wants the information, I've offered it for free for a download on my website, which is carltonneurofeedbackcenter.com. carltonneurofeedbackcenter.com. Dr. Carlton, you're not going to get rich on that book. I'm just saying. Probably not. But listen, it wasn't the goal, to be honest. I understand. But let me ask you this, because here we're in our waning minute here or so of the segment. We're fighting an uphill battle against big pharmaceutical companies and their lobbyists and the dollars that they have. How do we get this message out? I mean, obviously, we're doing it right here on the radio, but you got to be banging this drum in a big way. Are there others like you? Yes. You can go to the internet, ISNR, International Society of Neurofeedback Research. There are about 1,800 certified providers in the country. Not a lot, but they're out there. Unfortunately, it's a very unknown group of folks. So that's one of the reasons why I've offered the book so little as far as what it costs and why I'm offering it for free. All right. Trying to get the word out there. Folks, I appreciate your help today. Oh, my goodness. I'm a big fan of this. And as you know, someone close to the radio program here is using the neurofeedback techniques that you endorse and employ in order and seeing great results in order to deal with a long time ago brain injury that happened. This is to watch, isn't it? It's just amazing to hear the stories and to find that you have come through with your brain training and in your own story coming through a diagnosis of being bipolar, which is
in so many cases, simply medicated and thrown away. I mean, that's the kind of the way that people are in our society today. And our kids are lined up, and you never know what they're hopped up on. Dr. Carlton, your fantastic interview. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Eric. Have a great day.
Carlton and neurofeedbackcenter.com. Go get a copy of the book. Buy one off of Amazon. That's where you can support his work as well. We'll be back with more positive business talk right after these messages. Thank you for tuning in. We're grateful for you. This is the Experience Pros Radio Network.
The Experience